Okay guys, I got a package here. This little fella is, well, not little actually, it's quite bigger than I expected, is a Transformer, one of my two favorite characters, and I got rid of my original one hitting hard times in 2016. I had to sell them all and I kept one, so I've got one original one which I still need to make a video of, which was kindly bought from, or by my nan many years ago obviously. But this one here, yeah, I was looking online and they offered a discount on eBay, and it's a knockoff from China. It's called a KO, but it looked so good I decided, there's also a reissue coming out, but I decided to grab one of these because I think it was just over $100 Australian, which honestly for what it is not much. So let's go ahead and open the box. Hopefully it's all in good nick. I'll show you a picture of my original one here while I'm doing this. As you can see, it was in really good condition as usual with most of my toys. I kept all the boxes, everything perfect, so it kind of broke my heart a little to sell all my Transformers, although I did take photos and stuck them on my Facebook page just for memories, I guess. This guy looked really good, so I thought, yeah, why not. These were the top three of my franchises basically. You had Star Wars, Masters of the Universe and Transformers. And this one here really appealed to me because of the Cylons, I guess. The Cylons from Battlestar Galactica had the same kind of robot voice, which absolutely...
Dennis Flight Leader, return to base. Returning.
To music, and back in the day, stereos were super popular. He just looked cool. I liked robots with the visors over their faces. They had a little bit more mystery rather than the ones that were animated and talking. They looked a little bit silly for me. Although this guy is outdated now obviously because of technology. But for those of us of that generation, this guy still holds a place in our hearts. It's very well wrapped, which I'm very happy about. If you haven't guessed already, this is Soundwave. Now, I got rid of my original one because, well, I convinced myself that I'd sell it because the front door was a little bit warped and was having trouble opening, so that's why I sold it and I kept my other one, which will be an upcoming video. If we have a look here, wow, he's huge. He looks amazing. Now evidently this one is more faithful to the cartoon series, so I've got a few clips that I've grabbed from the series. I've got to rewatch it again. I really enjoyed watching these. Obviously I watched the movie quite a few times, but yeah, this is the knockoff, so this is not the official Takara Tomy, but this is from the Masterpieces range. And what I like about this one too is that he's got the red visor where the original generation had a yellow visor, if I remember correctly. And I've always liked this look. He just looks a little bit more malevolent. I suppose it's not the same quality as the original Masterpieces, but like I said, just for $100, that's amazing. Got the Transformers logo on the side here. We've got the parts here. Hopefully we'll open these up. Now I had Ravage and all the other cassette tapes as well, which was the Panther, and I might grab those. I do have it in my shopping basket on eBay, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, we'll get a closer look at that. So it's basically the set. For a knockoff, the box is really well done with a nice embossed, I think it's embossed silver there. And with these laser cannon there. Detail looks really nice. So yeah, let's check it out. Let's open it up. this. Just have a look at the back here. This here says its actual size, which is 220 millimeters, so 22 centimeters, which is quite big. So yeah, let's get onto it. Okay, first off, just got a collector card, I guess. And we have his power stats here. I won't translate that, it'll take me a while. Yeah, we've got Soundwave up the top. And the device mode. Nice, very nice. And here we have, this is something that's really cool too. If you have a few tapes, you can actually put 3 into the body and push them and they'll actually move forward, which I like. Pretty simple, obviously. Button to open it. Very nice. That's pretty simple. Well, for a knockoff, the instruction manual looks really, really good. Beautiful picture here too. Of the actual figure instead of artwork, sorry. Got the history of Soundwave on the back. I'm guessing these different forms. But yeah, the classic is the best for me, obviously. We have the items that it comes with. The only thing that it doesn't do, which is a little bit of a bummer, is these two here used to pretend to be AA batteries and they'd sit in the back of the boombox area, but I don't think it does on this model, which is fine. What I'm looking forward to is having a look at Megatron too. So we've got a scale to size Megatron gun that he could use in the cartoons, which I'll show you here. We've also got the sensor here, and I think I've got a clip of that in action as well. Down into the earth's molten core. This was called Condor in Japan, the buzzsaw in the other Western markets, I'm guessing. I'm not sure what the blurb reads here. I might have to look that up online to see what that says. Very thick and sturdy instruction manual too. So here we have all the instructions. Yeah, so these kind of slide down the side, which actually looks good too. I don't mind that at all. This is how I remember it. And this one is chromed as well, the parts, by the look of it, which is nice because some of the versions, the reissues now with the original toy, actually are painted grey rather than being chromed, which is fine, but I prefer it chromed because that's what I remember. But yeah, he looks really good. I've got Megatron. He actually fits in the hand with posable fingers, which is cool. And he does come apart. Interesting fact that that mode was actually banned. I can't remember exactly what decade now because he was a gun, so they had to turn him into a tank or something. But he can be held by any of the other Transformers as well. And here we have the scanner that was actually featured in the cartoon series, and I've got a clip of that here.
We can concentrate the energy into Aearonjer cubes and store them.
Down to the shops, so you won't see this video for a bit, and I'll get this scanned so I don't have to get it cut out, so I can put it on display. You've got the Aearonjer cube. The Aearonjer cube is actually clear. I think it'd be nicer if it was actually pink, like the cassette tape holder. It would better replicate the Aearonjer cube personally, but yeah, we'll get over it. We've got the eject mechanism. How all that stuff works. It's pretty intuitive. The artwork's crazy too. So much detail. Here we have Buzzsaw. And the cool thing about this is the jet robot parts, which are actually clip-on parts for the original Transformer toy are actually included into the actual cassette tape itself, which is awesome. And he also has, as you can see here, his little scanner pops out, and I've got a clip of that here too from the Transformer movie that I should pop it in here.
Aearonjer, report.
There we go. Another cool feature, you can actually clip him onto his shoulder so he sits there without falling off. That's awesome. And another one that actually clips onto his forearm. So we'll have a look at that later as well. Transforming him myself, I might have to wiggle around with this, but it looks reasonably easy. I'll send that, it won't be. But it's basically true to form of the original one from what it looks like here. I'm going to need that manual kept out. Okay, we have the rest of it. I'm in device mode. Oh, here we have two. This is the display sheet that actually goes behind the scanner part for his chest. Now obviously I'm not going to cut that out, you have to be crazy too. So you're trimming it across this white line here. So I'll have to go down and get this scanned onto a glossy piece of paper and then trim it. I should have that done by the time you see this. A little bit closer there for you. Not quite sure what ship that is. Yeah, we've got some Cybertronium language here. Very cool. So yeah, let's have a look at the figure itself. So we have him in the box. First thing that springs to mind, we've got the Aearonjer cube. Yep. It's just a plastic box. It just clips onto the front here somehow, I'm guessing. Here we have the scanner mode, and that's where we need to put that piece of paper showing the language or the scanner or the ship. I'm guessing that just clips over. Yeah, I'll show you in a minute. Oh, it's not gonna come out easy. Just looking at this first off, he looks much smaller, but the detail is really well done, the embossing there. It's pretty good. The only thing that's missing is the Decepticon logo, where you kind of rub it and it would change colour as it got hotter or colder, which I'll show at a later date with my actual original Transformer that I've yet to show. So this is what I'd expect the Aearonjer cube colour to be. It's a little bit more set colour. If you're not from Generation X or before, you won't know what these are. Yeah, that fits in nicely. I don't know what that would be if you're just sitting on the shelf not wanting to be a robot or something. It's kind of weird, but it's just a good way to... It's nice to have the option, let's put it that way. I do like the detail, it's really, really nicely done. Guess we have to push it through there. I'll need to look that up. Okay, let's pop out Soundwave. First thing I notice is he's a little bit floppy-ish, his legs, which is okay. He's supposed to have ratchet joints. Very sturdy on the button here to press. And again, same with this guy. He's got little computer symbols. If you have a look there, all around it, looks like it's flashing, but it's actually not. It looks quite sturdy. My original G1 actually had it. Yeah, it was warped around here. The detail here, it's very nicely done. Not sure if all these fingers are posable. Oh, they are. They're all hinged. Look at that. That's awesome. His pointer finger's a little bit floppy, but yeah. You can do all sorts of yeah, rude things. Wow. Here we can see the little area here where Buzzsaw can actually sit, and on here as well. The visor looks really nice. It's got a lot of good head movement. Yeah, that looks great. I've always loved the design of Soundwave. It looks so good. And here we've got his rocket blaster. And instead of just having it sticking on a peg like the original one, it's actually attached to the back here, from what I can see here, which is nice. And it rotates. I love the detail in here of the rockets. It's very cool. Oh wow, look at that detail around this. Got a little hook here for something. I'm not sure if it looks like a button. I'll have to look into that. This actually feels like it's metal. Even the detail under here. Look at that. Not sure if I want it. Okay, that kind of bends. So you've got a bit of angle there. It's very satisfying, that click. If you have a look here, do the buttons work? This doesn't actually spin. This does turn on and off, power switch. That's a nice satisfying slide too, believe it or not. Oh no, this does move if you give it a bit of a wiggle. We'll just leave it as such. Just really impressed by the hand, just the tiny little pivots. Look at that, it's so small. Detail's amazing. I've got some rotation in there as well. This obviously has to flip in from here somewhere somehow. We'll look into that. The paint is really well done. Very nice. Nice and clear and clean. The chrome is really well done. The buttons actually work. These ones are set in, so it's just the forward and the reverse. The arms have a kind of ratchet system we can hear there, which is good. Not in the elbow, a little bit loose. Can't really see any defects, except for maybe... No, the legs are nice. Guessing, oh yeah, we've got pivot at the waistline. It's really good for such a blocky type of robot to have that kind of motion. The only part I can see would be a bit scary is this ball joint in here. Well, not a ball joint, but the ratchet, which is pretty solid. This is a display piece for me. It's like I'm playing with it. A little bit scared to move the Yeah, I don't know if I want to be kicking that up. That's a lot of stress on just one small joint. But does he stand up on his own? Yes, he does. I'm a bit worried about this leg. It's yeah, I'm really hesitant to actually, I mean, it bends around here, no problems. This is no problems. The knees, not a problem. It's got some nice design work here too. Got these cover flaps here, I'm guessing that's for the transform mode. That's all nice and solid. Yeah, that's definitely metal. This bends down nicely. A little bit of angle here on the foot. So, yeah, I'll have to look to see if that transforms or something. It looks like it pops out. Yeah, that's more for the transformation, but yeah, you've got a bit of angle there. Not too bad at all. Got the record battery here. That's really nicely implemented. It's not just a piece of molded plastic, it's actually plastic upon plastic. That looks really good. Yeah, overall, I really like the design of the shoulders too. That looks really nicely implemented. The paint doesn't look too bad at all. I don't know how much the original Masterverse one costs. Masterverse, I think it's Star Wars, but Masterpiece, sorry. But yeah, no, this is perfect for the price. The only thing here, this was on the original one, again, one that you'd rub and the colour would change to reveal the Decepticon logo. This is nicely done. Let's just have a look here. This little guy goes in. It's even got the spools in the background here, which is kind of nice if you can see that. I guess we just put that in like that. Close. It fits in there nicely. I'd have to get Ravage as well, just pop in. That was my favourite, just because it was a cat. I'm a cat lover. Anything with cats, that was my favourite. Even the detail in here is really well done. Good quality. Very happy with that. A little bit of flashing here, as you can see. Yeah, I'm not going to get picky about that, considering what the original ones look like on this side as well. Have a look over the screen. This is indented, so it pops in like such. Very nicely done. Again, very well painted, nice and clear. And the Aearonjer cube. Guessing that you take this lid off and then put this in this way. Such. So if you watch the cartoon, obviously these Aearonjer cubes would protrude from his chest.
The Aearonjer cubes.
Which again is nice, but I think if we went with this colour, a little bit more authentic, or maybe even half, to show that it was half filling up. Whatever, it's just nice to have the option. But to be honest, it just looks like a generic plastic container. That's fine. But yeah, again, this is very clear. It's just a little bit of flashing on this side here. other than that, it's a nice clean box, no scratches or anything. Now we have his other weapon. So here we have his laser gun, and by the look of it, instead of having to put the piece in like a kind of shiny spear, it looks like it's in there. Very nicely detailed, very nicely painted as well, even on the inside there. I think this just goes into his hand as such, but yeah, we'll have another good look at that and see how we can do it. This is a really nice piece. It's very impressive. Nice if I had a couple of LEDs in there, but that'd be pushing my luck. Like I said, it was $100 Australian, so far the quality is amazing. Considering this again isn't a knockoff. I'm guessing this is a handle that pops out. Oh, yeah, look. That's clever. The handle pops out, which pushes this forward, which probably allows you to grab this and bring this out. Ta-da! That's really well done. The chrome is really nice. Handle's well designed too. So yeah, he's able to hold that in some form if I squeezed his fingers tight. And there's just one other accessory that we have here, and that is Megatron and his gun form. You can see the tiny little Decepticon logo there, which I think is great. Looks really good. We've got the stock, the scope. I'm pretty sure this slides out, so you're able to hold him a little bit easier. The scope comes off, muzzle comes off. Oh wow, look at that! Just like the original. Not sure if this pops off. And pops down. That's about as small as you can get him. He always transformed from a giant robot into a smaller one, which was crazy. I think I've already showed you him being used by Soundwave in a clip. If not, it's here. Yeah, it's just a really nice option. I think I'd actually prefer to display him holding this rather than that, to be honest. It's such a small detail. The paint is really well done too. Look at that quality. Very nice. The scope's got a lot of detail on it too, which is nice. Beautifully done, even around here. Pop that back on. This too with the whatever this muzzle brake. There's a slight bit of flashing there, but yeah, that's just being super picky. That looks really good. On this side as well. This actually covers, oh there's a slot there obviously, which covers over the front. This back. Not sure, yeah, you could just actually fold this up and hold it as well, but this looks good just is. So I'll read the instructions to see how he transforms. And hopefully that leg doesn't break off. I'm a little bit worried about it. It's quite stiff. But yeah, that's him straight out of the box. And we'll see you shortly. Show you how he transforms. Cheers, guys. Okay, guys, welcome back. It's a couple of days later now. Actually, it's Australia Day to be exact. And what we're going to do now is transform this guy. Just been looking over the instruction manual, and while I was out I also went down to Officeworks and got this scan so we can cut this out and pop it into the screen, which we'll do a little bit later, just in case I mess it up, because as I mentioned before, it's on the back of the instruction manual here, and I really don't want to cut that up. It's just as easy just to scan it, which is what we've done, and a couple of copies just in case I make a mistake. So transforming this guy, I think I mentioned previously that it was really hard to bend these legs forward, and checking it out, make sure we go this way. we've got these screws here, so I use my precision screwdrivers here just to unscrew this, just to loosen it up, because I thought the tolerance was just too tight, and I was correct. Once I undid these and loosened them up nicely, it actually did bend back and forth quite easily. The problem is, it would then separate here quite noticeably, probably about 1 mil, almost even 1.5 mil. So you kind of got the choice of having it put in together, or maybe just really going through this just to wear it down a little bit so it was a little bit easier. But tightening it back up, it's just no way that was going to bend, and I don't want to snap it. So yeah, that's something you've got to look out for. And I think I mentioned in the previous video too that this arm was loose, so again with the precision screwdrivers I just tightened these 2 screws here, and it's really tightened up this arm here now to where it's actually usable, where you can actually put something into it and it's not going to fall. So yeah, a couple of things to look out for. And before we transform it, I've tried transforming it once now just to see if I could do it. And if we have a look here, I tried to bend this back, which is part of the transformation, and it just would not budge. So a little bit dusty there. And if I can, yeah, you can see here it's just really difficult. So what I had to do is, with the screwdrivers, just give it a little bit of a helping hand. So what I did was just popped it into this gap here and just gave it just a bit of a push like that, and then it opened it up. Again, I didn't want to put too much stress onto the arm there, but it is doable, but again, a little bit tight, so you might want to bear that in mind as well. So we're going to do this slowly, just because yeah, people just kind of ran through it. It was a little bit hard to read. But yeah, you can fast forward this if you like. First thing to do is the hands, so let's go along and do that. I mentioned it'd be pretty easy comparing it to the old one, and it's not as easy. Yeah, it's a little bit more technical, which is fine. So first thing we do is pull open this here, make sure the hand is in tight so you don't snap off any of the fingers. And again, I've mentioned before that these are all posable, which I think are amazing. Make sure it's all down nice and tight. Pop the hand in easily, like such. Now, before we continue with the transformation, I mentioned that this was the scanner and it fits in the hand, which it does. So you'll see these 2 little tabs here, and these pop into here if you're going to use that. And I've already showed you a clip earlier in the first half of the video of him using this as well. So that's what that does. And there's also an option if you want to store it on the back. If we turn the little fella over, there is a tab that we can see just here, and that just fits in there like such, if you like. I don't like to keep it there because eventually it's going to knock out, or it gets bumped and it's just going to fall off and disappear down a dark corner or recess of the furniture or something as such. So we don't, well, I don't like to do that, so I just pop it back into storage where I know it's nice and safe. Okay, so yeah, and then we do the other hand as well. Just like to bend it outwards so it's a little bit easier. And make sure the fist is down nicely so we're not breaking anything inadvertently. And back in there as such too. One thing I'd like to mention too is the detail is really incredible in here too. If you look inside there, like a parabolic dish or something like that. So the details, they've really gone above and beyond. Well, stuff that you don't really even see. I really appreciate detail like that. So that one's good. We're done. And next is the head. Now in the old one I thought the head would actually turn around, so the head was facing inwards, but the head actually faces outwards. We have a little tab here that we flip up. Again, look at the detail inside of here. All sorts of little designs and vents in there. Very cool. Pops down nice and simply. Closed. Done. I've already done this part, but the rocket launcher here, or concussion blaster, whatever you want to call it if you want to be technical, which was like this if you remember. Just turn that around and this bends down like so. Okay, so next we have the arms, and as I just mentioned before, mine needed a little bit of a helping hand with a precision screwdriver. Only in this one was fine. So if we turn it around first, there should be some flaps here. This one here goes up. This one here goes up. Again, some more nice detailing inside. You can see here. Very cool. Oops. Yeah, these bend around like this. And cover. So that's that one done. And I had a little bit of problem with the legs. That's because honestly I didn't read the instructions properly, and that's on me. So next we have to slide the torso out towards us, which was a little bit stuck when I first tried it. So no, actually that's what it was like. So yeah, we've basically got to push that forward. So I'll do that again. It's quite a solid click. Okay, like so. Next, these side areas, and these are quite stiff as well, so you just got to be careful. Just make sure you've got a bit of support when you're bending them up. It kind of reminds me of Maximilian from the Black Hole. You had these kind of arms right at the end of the scenery there when he went to hell, which was cool. So next we turn these around at the knees, like so, and then bend them up. The next part here is the heels. So these are quite easy, they just turn around as such. It goes in like that and goes in like that. And then this bit here bends around. Same with this one. Goes around, we continue, and it goes around like that. Okay, this page here I had a problem with because I didn't read this part. There is a bottom on the back of the leg, so as we swing it up we can push it down. That's this button here. It's a little bit nondescript, so as we go up, push the button. I'll just try that again on camera because that was difficult. So it slides out, the button pops out, push it in. Just got to make sure everything's straight. It's really stiff. There, that's one. This one as well. Just like this. Try this one. Actually bends down. Clips into there like that. So it goes in. Just got to go into that tab like that. Okay, like that. Next, these bend up. To that section like that. This bends up into that section like that. Yeah, this tab here goes into that tab there. Like that. Now, This part is a little bit stiff, so we want to be careful so that it bends over itself. This bit turns around and turns into a locking tab. Like that, locks it all in. Same with this one. Really be careful with the support to support here and don't bend from here or from here. Turn this around. Okay, and that's locked in. There we go. There we go. Proper click. I was a little bit worried about pushing too hard, but yeah, now it's sturdy. Okay, now the next part is the hip area. Come from this side. You need to bend these out. I've got no fingernails, so it doesn't help. Bend these two tabs up. Bend this out. This is really nicely chromed in here too, look at that. Okay, this one bends out, this one bends out. It comes down and then slides into place, like such. And this bit I've already done, I've just clicked those into place. And we've got it to there, and the only thing I'm missing as I've said here is this gun. I found that it falls out quite easily, so I just don't bother, but there it goes, it's in, and this part goes in as such. Oh, there we go. A little bit of a drama, but there you have it. Oh, something else that I have to address too is the cassette guy is actually called Laserbeak, not Buzzsaw. Buzzsaw looks exactly the same as him, but yes, no, it's actually Laserbeak in this. Okay, oops. And this is also not a boombox, it's actually a cassette recorder. A boombox is more like a Sound Blaster, for example. He was closer to a boombox, I guess. Yeah, there we have it. It's actually quite sturdy. Now I've heard some of the models I've seen online too have another piece here that actually cover this area to give it more of a block form as well. I can't remember which model that is, but that was a nice option as well if you've got that one. But yeah, it's not a problem to me. You'd see it from the back. So we can see here all the details. You've also got the headphone plug in here, which actually works, I think. And when I works, I mean something can plug in like that. It doesn't go all the way, but again, it's just for looks. You got your left and right as well, but I thought that was a nice little touch. A little bit more authenticity. But yeah, for me, I'd keep him in his robot mode. This obviously still works. But yeah, again, he's kind of outdated technology because people don't use cassette recorders anymore and wouldn't know what he is. But no, it's from the classic cartoons, so yeah, I do love it. Quite an involved transformation. Not as bad as Unicron, for example. If you've seen him, you check him online, that's insane. I couldn't do it. I mentioned something before that there is some little panels. I think I saw this one here and here. I was opening it from this side, which is incorrect. It actually opens from this side. Like that. And if you're wondering what that is, inside is a gun. Let me take that out. Check this out. I think it's actually Rumbles or the other guys. It's actually their laser guns hidden in his feet. How cool is that? It is a little finicky to get out, but it's actually detailed inside of his foot as well, so that just kind of slides in here like such. That's why I use tweezers, and then close the panel. And yes, the other side does have the other gun. That one's well hidden in there as well. I'll leave it in there, you've already seen it. But yeah, that's how it sits. I thought that was a cool little addition. It wasn't mentioned anywhere. So yeah, it's just that little tab that you need to pull out and it pops out. So yeah, so things to be aware of basically is the tolerances of the screws. So you may either have to loosen them or tighten them depending on if you have an issue with your figure. And I did notice a couple of defects. There is a little scratch here, you might be able to see, and a slight blemish on his mask. You can barely see it, it's just on the edge here. But again, I'm getting picky to actually have to see that. Yeah, but otherwise, again, this is a KO, a knockoff. I think it's great value for the money, it really is. I have seen with some of the other knockoffs that you actually get all the cassettes, which I thought was a cool idea, but no, I'm happy with this. I'm happy to pay for a couple of more cassettes, and I'll make a video on those if and when I do buy them. But yeah, that's Soundwave. So we'll pop him in a couple of poses, and oh no, I've forgotten something. Before we do that, I forgot to cut these out and show you what they look like. Another mention too with Megatron's gun. This here actually detaches. It's got a little kind of a T-bar bracket that you can see there. So this does slot off as well. So you can reduce him down, take off the muzzle, down to his basic pistol form, which I thought was cool. I was just messing around with him the other night and found that out. And again with the handle there. I do prefer this to his actual blaster or sonic cannon, whatever you want to call it. I think this is a really cool addition. So we've got that there, but yeah. I haven't transformed Laserbeak either, so we'll do that in a sec, but let's just get this. Oh, by the way, I also found out what the ship is. It's actually the ship that the Decepticons leave in. I've actually put a clip in there earlier as well, and I think that's ends up being their underwater base. So that's what that ship was. I ended up watching the first 3 or 4 episodes the other day just out of curiosity. I should have known that, but most Transformers fans probably knew that off by heart. And there we go. I could have, now that I think about it, used the Photoshop and maybe cleaned them up a bit and made them a little bit darker or lighter or contrasted a little bit easier, but that's fine. Okay, now we have him with his screen with the ship inside. Okay, and take that one out. Put this one in. Okay, that's with the language in. That might be actually upside down, but yeah, you get the point. See, that turned out really well. It's a nice little feature. Like I do suggest scanning it. That way you keep your manual intact. But yeah, cool little feature. So actually I'll just keep these in here for storage, that way I don't lose them. Just leave them in there like that and I know where they are.
What is it?
Laserbeak, prepare for flight operation.
The detail on this guy's fantastic as well. I really do like it. And as I mentioned, this is very well designed or engineered because the whole thing is incorporated into the transformation, all these rocket thrusters and whatnot. So it's a little bit finicky. First thing we have to do is push through here. You might need a screwdriver if you can't reach it, depending on how big your hands are. But yeah, we can just kind of push that out, and that's his head. He does have the yellow eyes there. Pop that out like so. Look at the detail on his head. Also, he's got the tiny little scanner that I actually showed in the first half of the video. You just kind of push with your nail and then hope that you can get it to push up enough to pull it up like that. It's tiny, but it's such a cool little nod. Look at that. Okay, so next, I'm not going to go with the instructions, I'm just going to make it up as I go along here. I think it was, these bits pop up, like so, and the little stabilizer fins. Now on the picture it shows these straight up, but when I try to push them up they really don't want to go, so I'm quite happy with how they look like that. I'm not going to risk snapping them off. Okay, we've got the wings, we just push those up forward. Again, amazing amount of detail on the inside as well. And they go outwards, like so. The feet bend up. Like that. If you wish, these can bend up even further or just straight out depending on how you like it. Got the tiny little Decepticon logos on there, which I appreciate. So it's in full flight mode like that. Now you'll notice down here too he's got these lines or grooves on the inside of his feet, and that's to sit on Megatron, as we mentioned. I tried to get him to sit, Megatron, what am I saying? Soundwave's shoulder. Now these don't seem to be tolerant enough or have enough space to sit comfortably, but on his arm, yeah, bend that out like that and bend it in, bend his arm down. This little groove seems to fit perfectly. So if we put that, as I said, not a problem at all, it kept falling off. But yeah, you get the picture. If you incorporate a flight stand as well, you've got a really cool posable spot there. I think he looks amazing. That's obviously copied off the box, that pose there. It looks absolutely stunning. I love this guy. Very well worth it for the price he is. So yeah, for a knockoff, I thoroughly recommend it. Just remember that the tolerances can be a little bit tight or a little bit loose, but with a precision screwdriver you can kind of tighten that and fix it. And there's also an option to get a LED visor if you want to get an updated head, but that's a lot of, I guess, yeah, a lot of messing around and you may break it, but there is options out there for that too if you so wish. But yeah, I think he looks amazing. So there you go.